Okay, so now we're going to do the filter, the water, the biofilter. You would take a 2 liter, 1 liter, whatever type of bottle that you want to use, and you would cut it in half like this. Preferably, like this will be more because you want as much water to be trapped as possible. So, if you're just using what you have around you, you would look for some sand, some grass, and some rocks or gravel or something like that. So the first thing, you always start with what would purify, what would be the last process of purification. So that would be either a cloth or some cotton wool, right? So you'll put that at the bottom. Then you will put your charcoal or your ash. So you can use your ash from the fire, but again, just make sure there's no briquettes or anything that has chemicals in it. Make sure that the ash that you're using is untreated wood completely. No, nothing else. Okay, so you can either put ash or activated charcoal in. Then you would put your sand. Then you would put your layer of grass, and then you would put your rocks or your pebbles. So you would then pour your water, and then it would then filter. Sorry. So this is, if there's only dirty water around you, maybe your water's been turned off, it's now 3 days, maybe there's a burst pipe, those things must not happen, right? The city is busy fixing it, but there's more problems. So you're without water for a long period of time. You can't stand in the queue due to whatever the situation is. You have some dirty water or water around. You can make your own little rudimentary filter. Don't worry about that. That is just the color of the sand and the sediment stuff. It will then filter the water. Normally it's white, but I had a lot of other stuff in here. So it will then filter the water. This filtered water you will then boil, and then you can drink it. Okay, so you can make your own biofilter on your JoJo tank as well if you want to, using this type of concept. Obviously, you would want to use more of the better filtration stuff. So if you have the money, go and buy it with your filtration unit. They sell purification and filtration units as is. Or if you're just going to use it for your garden or something, then you can just use this type of mechanism, biofilter. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is how to make salt. Thank you. Okay, so if you, for example, your peels of your onions or your garlic, you've now dehydrated it either outside or in your oven or your, however you want to dehydrate it. So now it's crispy like that, right? And you put some of this in. And you use a mortar and pestle. You would then crush it so that it's fine. You can put it in a blender first, depending on how fine you want it to be. This this is taking long. I'm just showing you how you can do this. Then you would add some salt. Now it's best to use coarse sea salt, Himalayan salt or Celtic salt, because those have normal table salt only has 2 minerals in it, and together they are toxic. That's why it causes high blood pressure. However, Himalayan salt or Celtic salt or sea salt has between 74 and 92 of the minerals and nutrients that your body needs. So your cells work like this. We are in a constant state of dehydration. So our cells need to work because we're designed to survive. So our cells will work whether it's dehydrated or not, but it will have protective mechanisms. So everything works at the cellular level, then moves to your organs and then your systems in your body, and that's how it works, right? So your cells, when it's dehydrated, it forms like this little bubble around it to protect, because your cell is permeable, because the water that you drink, because your body is 80% water, it needs a lot of water. The water that you drink and the nutrients from your food and so forth is what the cell needs to work. So now it's protecting that, what is inside, because it's not getting the water or the nutrients because you are dehydrated. And dehydration comes from stress, environmental factors, all these, and just not eating properly and so forth. Now there's this layer around it. Okay, so now when water comes, it struggles to get through this layer. So it pushes and pushes, and to force it in. Over time, that pushing and pushing causes high blood pressure. Right? That's one of the ways it starts. But now once the water is in with the nutrients, it can now work. When you use Himalayan salt or Celtic salt, it has, okay, let's take Himalayan salt. It has 74 of the 102 minerals and nutrients that your body needs for the cellular process to work. So if you put Himalayan salt with water, and this is the best way to drink water, if you add it, there's 3 magnesiums in the salt. The 1 magnesium will unlock this bubble. The second magnesium will will bring in all the nutrients into the cell, and the third magnesium will kickstart the process, and then your cellular process can then happen using the water and the other nutrients to then do its job. When your cells is working properly, your organs start working properly, your systems start working properly, your body starts working properly, it will be healthier. You have less aches and pains because now your cells are getting all the nutrients and minerals that it needs to work properly. It's like a car. If you're going to put water into where the petrol must go, it's not going to work. But if you put petrol in and you service the car, it's going to work fine because it's getting what it needs to do its job. So our bodies are the same. So when we drink water without Himalayan salt or Celtic salt, it just gets flushed out of the system because there's nothing to pull it into the cell. So especially when people are on diets, they drink 5 liters of water and they go to the toilet all the time. And they often feel dizzy and shaky, and because they're flushing out all the electrolytes, and all the water they're drinking is just passing all the time because it's not being absorbed into the cell. So the body is not actually using it because it doesn't have the nutrients to pull it into the cell. So that is why when you drink water, it's very important to drink it with Celtic or Himalayan salt so that the water can actually get into the cell. And then you will be healthier and work better and more efficiently. Now, I've been using Himalayan salt in my water for 2 years. I hardly get sick. I go to the toilet maybe once or twice a day. I hardly go to the toilet and I'm drinking whole day. Unless I drink cool drink or tea or something else, then I'll go more. But if I'm just drinking water, my body uses all of that. I feel energetic, like a spring chicken. If I hurt myself, my recovery time is just amazing. It's really quick. If I do get sick, it's like for a day. Okay, so you would use 250 ml is a glass. You would use one crystal in one glass. That's how you start off, right? And then once your taste buds get used to the taste of the salt, you will start craving more because now your body's getting the nutrients that it needs to work. Now it wants more. So you would then start increasing. Your taste buds will tell you if it's too much, if it's too salty, or if it's not salty enough. And you'll see you can't drink water without salt in ever again. You just can't. It doesn't taste nice. You don't feel quenched. It just doesn't work. And then you start increasing as your body requires. This is a 2 liter. I take like 3 scoops like this in there, and I sip all day. Water you also mustn't gulp down, because it's like when it rains, okay, when there's a deluge, what happens? Flooding, right? Because the ground, the soil can't absorb the water fast enough, because it's just too much water that is, so our bodies are the same. When we gulping water down, our cells can't absorb it fast enough. So we actually need to sip on one instead of just gulping it down, because if you're gulping it, it's just going to pass out because it's not being absorbed. That's just a tip for the day. Okay, so now you're making your salt from your vegetables that you dried out, and this can be any type of vegetables that you want to make, celery or anything like that. Now onion skins and garlic skins have a lot of nutrients in it, so it actually is extremely healthy to eat. It helps with inflammation also, and so forth. Don't have a funnel now, but anyway, can you see the salt? And so this is basically what you will put in there. I put some mint in here also. And there you have your herb salt, or your seasoned salt. So you can use this for cooking, for garnishing, for anything that you made yourself from your scraps. So this is a good way to repurpose instead of just throwing it away. Reuse it, and you can also start a business from something like this. Okay, so
did you put any salt in there? Can you use
yes,
a blender?
you can. Yes, it's just a pestle and mortar makes it very fine. But if you have a coffee grinder, that will make it more fine. So it depends on how coarse or fine you want it to be. Look, if you have a thingy, a grinder bottle, then it shouldn't matter because you're going to grind it anyway. But if you just have a shaker, the more fine the better. But it's up to you how you want it to be and look. So yes, you see the white, I did put salt in there. Okay, then our last little experiment before we, how do you want to do this?
I actually wanted to ask you now, if everybody is okay for us to carry on for another half an hour and then end off with something to eat?
We carry on.
Are you all fine, or do you need a stretch?
Fine?
Fine.
Okay. Fire lighters. So now the grid is off, or for some reason you can't cook, there's no gas, nothing. Repurposing tuna tins or any type of tin, what you would do is you would take pieces of cardboard and you would cut it into strips, make sure that sellotape and all those things are off. It must just be natural cardboard, and then you would roll it like this. And then you cut another strip and you roll it around. Oh, until it fits into the tin. Okay, once it's snugly fit into the tin, you can either pour old cooking oil that you can just save every time. You pour the old cooking oil over it. Oh, can't open this.
Open, you see?
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
The last time it was also windy, we couldn't do this. Oh no. Okay. You get the
try
idea?
someone else
I'm just
Oh,
scared
just-
that the
oh,
wind
gonna blow
is,
it,
yes.
yeah.
So anyway, you do this and you put it in the tin, and then once it's soaked with the old cooking oil, it will then set alight. You can also melt some candle wax down, pour the candle wax over here. Also what you can use as fire lighters is your nail polish swabs. Collect them because there's alcohol in here, and you can also then put it on here just to start the fire, and once it gets going then everything else will start burning. And then you use another tin, a bigger tin. This is called a hobo stove. So you make sure that there's these holes. This pulls in the air to flame the fire, and you make a little opening here, and then you light the fire, you put this over,
So cute.
and then you can cook on here.
It's so cute.
And the rooibos tea, isn't that also fire lighter?
Yes, if it's dried out, you can use that. You can do scrapings of a tree and add some Vaseline. That's also a fire starter that you can. There's lots of different fire starters, but that's a whole other workshop. So this is just one way that you can make a little stove, a cooking stove. You can put a big plate on here as well. It doesn't matter. It is up to you. But there you have a stove in any emergency. Just repurposing old tins and cardboard. Any questions? No? Okay, so now I think we're going to break up into two groups. The one group is going to do a water filter, and the other group is going to make a fire lighter. Because of the wind, it's fire hazard. We're not going to set the fire light, but we're just going to practice making it. Is that okay with everybody? Okay. How do you want to split up? Okay, half and half. So for those who are this side what do you want to do? Water filter. Okay. So you will do the fire lighters. I didn't have tuna tin, so you can just cut this in half and do the same thing, and then just roll up and then make a bigger tin to go over there.
Yeah, I'll stick it away now.
Oh, I did it already.
You move a table here.
Okay, so you can boil it even later.
This was that. Sundays, is yours? Oh, these ones. I didn't get your. Oh. No, you know his name? Okay. I must take your number. I'm going to leave maybe earlier. Customer know you know. Is that your phone of you?
Yeah.
No, do me a favor, take mine. You
Okay.
send me a WhatsApp. Easier for me. You send me a WhatsApp?
Giving me all the work.
Yeah.
Okay, give me.
062 025 7226.
Yeah, under the tongue is the quickest way.
Our phone is a nice one. Check. We'll probably that's Ibrahim Williams. We'll just put book up. I don't know, I'll check with Lemise. Maybe I should just bring all the things. Yeah, we just taking numbers for something else. But hello, yeah. Oh yeah, we go to Sea Point a lot. We go to 025 722. We go to Sea Point a lot.